Hello guys and welcome back to my channel. There's someone new here who I want you to meet. This is CeCe. I can't believe she's here. She's 3 weeks today. 3 weeks already. Where does the time go? And I'm just like trying to hold on to this gorgeous little newborn bubble that I know just doesn't last long at all, so I'm really trying to soak it up. Now, I've already tried to film this, well, I have filmed this vlog earlier today, and wow, I didn't film it. I spoke for like half an hour, maybe more, and I didn't even press the record button. Oh gosh, honestly, the sleep deprivation, tiredness, yeah, I went to edit it and there was nothing there, and I thought, oh my gosh, I didn't even press the button. So we're starting again. I've got my phone here for some notes to see me through because my brain is just not working. But yeah, I thought we could get into my birth story and tell you all about it. I will leave a link to my birth vlog if you haven't seen my birth vlog. I'm so glad I filmed. I was umming and ahhing, do I take the camera, do I not take the camera? And it's honestly, I really wish I'd done it with Rudy's birth, but it would have been a bit different with Rudy's birth because it was an emergency. But yeah, so glad I've got them memories to keep forever. I feel like we're gonna watch it every year on CeCe's birthday. Let's get into my birth story. I just wanted to start off and say, if you're due a C-section anytime soon, please don't worry. I know it's easier said than done. I feel like the day I went in, I kept going in myself a little bit because it's very overwhelming. Obviously you're going in to have major surgery, but oh, I just wish I could do it all over again. I really do. It was such a magical and empowering experience, and it honestly was incredible, absolutely incredible. It was so calm and relaxed and just completely different to my emergency C-section with Rudy. It sort of felt like we was going in to have like a dentist appointment or something. Honestly, it felt so weird. It was just so calm. I don't know, it was just weird. It was so strange having the date. It was really nice to have the date. I think I got given the date around 10 days before, and it just felt so nice to be able to prepare, get Rudy ready, sort childcare, sort the house, sort me, have my nails and things done. So yeah, that felt really nice to just, I had an empty washing basket, I changed all the beds. I'm a bit of a control freak like that. I like to get the house ready, so that was nice that I had like the date and I could get things ready for them. The difference between the emergency C-section I had with Rudy and then the elected C-section I had with CeCe were just completely the opposite experiences. Honestly, it was just so calm and it was just beautiful. It really was beautiful. Me and Liam just basically laughed the whole time. I said in my birth vlog, it felt like I was on a date with him. We were just out having a date because it was just so, obviously I was nervous, you're going in for major surgery, but I don't know, it just sort of like healed us in a way because Rudy's birth was very traumatic and the elected C-section was just completely opposite to that. It was just so chill. So a few days before you go into an elected C-section, you have to go to the hospital and pick up your medication and get your bloods done, and they go through like the risks of everything. That was a little bit scary because I didn't have that sit down and speak about the risks when I had the emergency C-section because I was out of it because I had sepsis. So I remember saying to Liam, like, oh, it feels a bit real now. which obviously I knew I was going to have an elective C-section because of all my complications. But yeah, when they go through the risks and everything, I was a bit like, oh god. But you get given medication and you take it 10 o'clock at night and then 6 o'clock in the morning of the C-section. And then I couldn't eat anything from 12 o'clock that previous night. So I was very, very hungry when I went to the hospital. I was starving, and you're waiting around quite a bit. We arrived and we waited in the waiting room for around 2 hours, I think. I was third on the list, so there were four of us in there, and it's so weird because you're in like the waiting room and you're looking at these women and you're like, oh my gosh, we're all gonna have a baby today. All our babies are born on the same day. It was just, I don't know, it's so cute. Anyway, yeah, we waited in the waiting room for a few hours, and then we couldn't go on to the ward because it was too busy, they said. So we went into this room that they do like the observations, they put the cannula in, and then the anaesthetist, am I saying that right? I don't know. She comes in and she goes through like, Augustine. Oh, bless me. Oh dear. Yeah. Oh, sorry, darling. She goes through like the whole procedure and the risks and everything, and see if you've got any questions. I did meet a few other people, but I can't remember now. Just the teams, and you know, going through everything. And then you put on your stockings and your compression stockings, not like nice sexy stockings, nothing's sexy about this. You put your stockings on and your what's it called? Not a cloak. What's it called? Cape? No, it's not a cape. Oh my gosh, I don't know what it's called. I'm gonna have to Google it. Oh, gown. You put your gown on. Yeah, you put your gown on, and then like you sit in waiting. They said we'll come and call you when it's time to go on the ward. But then about an hour and a bit went by, and the midwife came in and said, we need this room, can you go into the waiting room? And I said to her, like, in my gown, I've got like nothing on. And she was like, yes please, if you don't mind. So we were sat in the waiting room. There were like different people there then, just like normal people who were there for appointments, and they were looking at me a bit like, what are you doing in this room with the hospital gown on? And I felt like, what am I doing in this room with a hospital gown on? But anyway, the wards were too busy, so we just sat in the waiting room, and Liam was moaning that he was hungry because he hadn't ate anything. I don't know why he didn't wake up and have breakfast, but anyway. So he then went to Greg's, and while he was gone, the midwife came in and said, we're ready for you. So I rang Liam and was like, come on, they're ready now, like typical, as soon as you've gone to Greg's. So he came rushing back, and then we walked down the corridor. She opened the door and it was the theatre, and I was like, what? Am I going in now? Am I having the baby now? And she was like, yeah, I've come and got you, like, we're ready for you. And I said, no, I thought you meant you're ready to take me on the ward. I didn't think I was ready. Like, everyone's in this room waiting for me. So yeah, that was a bit of a shock. Liam went to put his scrubs on. They asked him to get baby's hat and a nappy, and then I was to meet him in the room, and I sat in this chair and everyone's like talking amongst themselves, like the jobs they've got to do and things like that, and I was just looking at the bed. I was looking at the table like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna sit on there and have a baby in a minute. I'm literally gonna have my baby any minute. It was a bit overwhelming, but to be honest, I was really calm. I don't know. It was just like once I got over the initial shock, I surprised myself how calm I was in that situation. Yeah, it was just, I was just so ready to meet her, and I just kept thinking, I'm gonna want to come back to this moment for the rest of my life. I'm going to want to relive this for the rest of my life. Just enjoy it and embrace it. And it was just, oh, it was amazing. It really was. It was just so calm, really, really calm in this room. So I had the needle in my back, which it just felt like a bit like a bee sting, to be honest. It felt like, you know, well, if you've had a C-section before, you have blood thinners, which are injections in your stomach, and they feel a bit like a bee sting. Luckily I didn't have them this time with her. I didn't need to have them because they are a bit stingy, but it just felt like that, and before you know it, it's over. It's honestly nothing to worry about. And I just looked at Liam, and we were in a little moment together, and I don't know, it just felt like there was no one else in the room, and I was just looking at him like, this is it, we're going to meet our daughter. It was just so surreal. And then your legs go numb, you can't feel them. They feel heavy first, and then they move them, they put your catheter in, which you can't feel at all because obviously, you know, you're numb from the waist down, and they test to see if you can feel certain points, and I couldn't feel anything, so then they put the curtain up. I did feel a little bit of tugging this time, which I didn't feel with Rudy, but she's a bigger baby than Rudy. Rudy was only £6.8, she's £7.7, so I did feel a little bit of tugging this time. And then you hear water, because they obviously pop the waters, and the midwife said, you're gonna hear your baby any minute now, we can hear the water. And then I heard her cry. I can't talk about it without crying. Oh god, it was incredible. Oh, absolutely incredible. Oh, it's not a vlog if I don't cry on it at some point, is it? Oh, it's just such an amazing moment. So magical. And oh god. Yeah, you just can't beat that moment, can you? You really cannot beat that moment. It's just, oh my gosh, so magical. And she came out crying, and yeah, they put her on the table then, and done all their little bits that they need to do. But it was so nice this time because the table was like next to me to my left, so I could see her, whereas with Rudy, he was on the other side of the room, so I couldn't see him, and I was just lying there, and your whole being is like dying to hold them and dying to have them in your arms. So to be able to actually see her felt amazing. What I will say though, I had a trainee midwife, which they asked, like, do you mind having a trainee? I was like, absolutely not. I've had trainees before, and I had trainees with the scans that I had done, so I wasn't bothered at all that I had a trainee. But when she came out and she was on the table, she was really quiet on the table. She just like went to sleep straight away. I was like, oh my gosh, is she okay? Like, she's not crying anymore. And that's her personality. Like, she doesn't really cry, to be honest. Well, so far she is only 3 weeks, so we'll give it time. But yeah, so she was on the table and they were doing all the checks and everything, and then I was like, I really want to hold her now. I spoke to my midwife before, and I was like, because of all the trouble I had with Rudy, and they did originally want to put me to sleep with my C-section with Rudy because I was that poorly with the sepsis, and I begged and begged, I was crying, and she went and spoke to somebody else higher up, and then she came in and she was like, we don't have to put you to sleep now because it's you that's poorly, it's not Rudy that's the baby. Obviously I didn't know his name then, I didn't even know it was a boy because we didn't find out the gender. But yeah, they were like, because the baby's well, we can keep you awake. I thought, oh my gosh, thank the Lord. But I was still really out of it when he was put on me. I was so poorly, so I really wanted that moment of, oh, her little noises, you little cutie. Yeah, I really wanted that moment, that skin on skin straight away. Well, as soon as everything was safe to do so. Obviously, her health is the priority. Once she's safe and well, I wanted her on me straight away for skin to skin and then breastfeeding. But because I had a trainee, they were sort of like going through everything, and she was just lying on the table and they were just like going through all the paperwork and things like that. And it got to over half an hour, and I said to Liam, I need to hold her now. It's going on a bit now. She's absolutely fine. She's perfect. Why is she on the table? And they're doing the paperwork over there, and she wasn't on her own, because I kept saying to Liam, like, stand with her, be with her. But I just wanted her on me at this point. Like, half an hour is a long time when you're dying to hold your baby. So yeah, so Liam was like, okay, please, can she hold her now? Like, are all the checks done? Like, she is dying to hold her. And they were like, yeah, okay, that's fine, yeah, you can hold her. And I was like, why didn't you just, maybe we should have asked 10-15 minutes ago, because, anyway, she was on me, and oh my gosh, it was just the best feeling, the absolute best feeling. The first thing I said when I looked at her was like, oh my gosh, she's so big. She had these massive chubby cheeks, which Rudy didn't have. He was so like skinny and small, and she was so chunky, and oh my gosh, I just love her so much. I can't believe how much she looks like Liam as well. I did say that. I was like, she's literally your double. She looks nothing like me. There's none of me in there. Anyway, she was happy and healthy, and that's the main thing. And we had our skin to skin in the end, and then we went over to the recovery where I breastfed her. She struggled to latch to start off with, so I got help from the midwife, because even though I exclusively breastfed Rudy for 14 months, it's a brand new baby. Like, every baby's different, aren't they? So yeah, I did need help to put her on, which I'm so glad I asked for help. So glad, because I really did want to breastfeed, and I wanted to make sure she was definitely feeding, and I was confident in feeding her. So she fed, and we stayed in the recovery, and me and Liam just kept looking at each other like, oh my gosh, this is our little girl, we've got a daughter. And oh, it was just so nice in there. I was absolutely starving in there, though. I really wanted something to eat. I just want to mention as well, when you've had the baby and they're like sewing you up again, you honestly, you don't even know what they're doing, because you're just so in this oxytocin love bubble that I really felt like it was just me and Liam and CeCe in the room. You just don't even think about being sewn up, basically. But afterwards, the person who done the operation, she came to me and she said, you have got quite a lot of scar tissue from your previous C-section, so recovery might be a little bit tougher. And it definitely has been, to be honest. But I'll get into the recovery in a minute. I'm jumping around all over the place. I've just looked at my notes and I didn't want to miss that bit out. Yeah, so then you slowly start to feel movement in your legs again, and I had something to eat. I went onto the ward, and we just soaked up our little newborn for the very first time. It just felt so amazing. Then I started to feel a little bit sick, so they give me anti-sickness, which I felt a little bit sick in my C-section with Rudy as well, but they gave me anti-sickness, so that calmed it. I didn't have the famous tea and toast though. I don't know what, maybe it was the wrong time of day. I had a sandwich and it just didn't hit the spot like tea and toast after you've had a baby. I was really disappointed about that. So we were on the ward together, we had something to eat, not the tea and toast. Liam had to go. Liam's mum had Rudy, and I wanted to make sure that Liam was there to put him to bed, so he was just like in his normal routine. And then I started to feel really, really sick. And I was sick. And being sick when you've had a C-section was, oh, that was painful, to be honest. But I did get offered liquid morphine. So I had the liquid morphine, and that was incredible. It really was so good. Liam was like, am I okay to leave you with our new baby when you've just had liquid morphine? But I needed it because the pain, I did start to feel the pain by then. But as soon as I had the liquid morphine, everything was fine and I didn't feel any pain, so that was good. And then they came to me at around 10:30 and said, do I want a shower? I started to feel a bit sick again, so they gave me anti-sickness and they were like, we'll come round and do a bed bath for you rather than a shower because you're still not feeling very well. So they kept my catheter in and I just had a bed bath at like 11:30 at night. Got changed into my nightie. It felt so nice to feel like clean again. I got changed into my nightie, got into bed, had the best cuddles. That first night with your newborn, oh my gosh, there's just no feeling like it. It's just a place I'll always want to go back to forever. You're just getting to know this tiny little human and you can't stop staring at them and you're so tired but you just want to look at them. Oh, have we got a scrunch? Oh my gosh, we've got a scrunch. Oh, you're so cute. You are adorable, but stay asleep because I'm not finished yet. Yeah, that first night, oh my gosh, it's so amazing. But I didn't sleep the night before the C-section because I was nervous and excited and, you know, all the emotions leaving Rudy, and then I didn't sleep that night either because the ward was just so busy and yeah, they had the lights on and people were talking and I knew I wouldn't sleep. I didn't sleep when I was in with Rudy really, so I had 2 nights of no sleep, but I was that over the moon and you're just on such a massive high that, you know, it's not like normal day to day when you have 2 days of no sleep. The next morning they took my catheter out, which felt fine, to be honest. It, you know, I didn't really feel it. And they, when I had the bed bath, I did stand up for the first time. That's a bit crazy because obviously you've got loads of medication as well. You've taken medication, so it's not that bad, but you are a bit like, oh my gosh, I feel a bit weird standing up. But I stood up very briefly while she was helping to wash me, and then yeah, that was that. The next morning, because they try and make you do 2 wees, I think it is, before you can leave. So I walked to the toilet and I had a wash and you know, done all my skincare and felt really nice and fresh, and done the 2 wees, and then went back and had my breakfast. I love being in hospital with a baby. I really do. I just think it's so magical, and you can hear all the newborn babies, and you know, you sat with your breakfast and you just think, this time yesterday you was in my belly and now I'm sat having breakfast with my brand new newborn on the ward. I really, really just could do it again and again. And then that's the day that Liam brought Rudy at 10 o'clock to meet CeCe, to meet his little baby sister. And oh my gosh, guys, that was by far the best moment of my life. By far. Oh gosh, it is in my birth vlog. I will leave it linked below if you haven't seen it. But I knew he'd be amazing because he's such a kind-hearted little boy. And I knew he would take to his sister fine. But I just wasn't expecting to that level. He was just incredible, and he's been incredible since we've came home. He's so obsessed with her, a little bit too obsessed with her sometimes. He could just be in her face 24/7 if I let him. Yeah, he's gonna do your head in, isn't he, darling? I'm just so proud of him, so proud of him. He's been amazing, he really has been. So the recovery, I'm not gonna lie, the recovery was hard this time, a lot harder than my first C-section, because obviously the scar tissue, it was just really painful. I will say, if you're due a C-section soon, to just keep on top of your meds. Say like my meds was due at 6 in the morning, and one day I slept until 7 because she fed later on in the night, so she slept a little bit. Rudy didn't wake up till 7, so I didn't take them at 6, and oh my gosh, you really do know when you haven't taken them. But we're week 3 now, and I haven't needed to take any pain meds. Sort of like 2.5 weeks. At that point I stopped taking them. We're 3 weeks in now. As I said, she's 3 weeks today. And that's all like a distant memory. It really is. I feel like when you're in it, you're like, oh my gosh, I'm never going to get back to normal again. But you do. You really do. Every day you get stronger, and you know, it is just a distant memory. Liam has been incredible. Honestly, he's just kept us all going. He has just been so amazing, looking after me, looking after Rudy, being there for CeCe, doing all the washing. He has shrunk 3 pairs of my pyjamas though. But apart from that, he's just been amazing. He's the most amazing dad. It really does like bond you and bring you closer together. And we've had help from family, which I'm so grateful for, because it really does take a village, especially when you've got a toddler. You know, they've come and taken him out to soft play and really made sure that he's okay. We've had meals cooked for us, which is just I'm so grateful for that. Cooking a meal for somebody freshly postpartum is one of the best things, if not the best thing you can do for that person. I just couldn't be more grateful to have a meal cooked and ready. It's just such a nice gesture. We had 2 weeks off with Liam because he was off on paternity, and they were the best 2 weeks. They really was. The first week I was like mainly sat in this spot watching TV and really resting as much as I could, because I was still really uncomfortable then. The second week we started to like venture out a little bit. We spent so much time in the park. I just think when I felt ready to walk, it's just so nice getting out in the fresh air. So nice. It's been lovely to be at home, but I do. I need a bit of fresh air. And we had a little walk. Rudy could burn off some energy. She was knocked out from the fresh air, but cosy and snug in her pram. And yeah, I just found a newfound love for being at the park. Which I didn't think I would, but it's just, I don't know, it's so wholesome. And get a coffee and just, oh, I just love it. I love the wholesome days. They just mean the most to me. Obviously I can't drive yet. I can't drive for another 3 weeks, which I'm dying for a B&M trip and a coffee from Starbucks. And it's not the same going with Liam, because he'll just rush me around and you know what I mean, not give me the time I need to look round B&M. And he'll moan at the stupid things that I buy, but I'm dying to go and see all the Christmas bits. Yeah, so that's going to be one of my first trips, I think, with the kiddies. But yeah, the recovery has been hard, and obviously I'm still recovering now. I'm only 3 weeks in, but I'm somebody that doesn't like to really sit down and chill, and I like to keep on top of the house. I like structure and routine, and you know, making the most of the day and things like that. And I think with the C-section recovery, it really does make you slow down, sit down, embrace this season of life and just take it all in. It really does. And that is something that I do struggle with, because I'm constantly like, oh, I need to do this and I need to do that, I need to get tea ready. But because I couldn't do it, I'm just sat here in this bubble. I really have embraced a slower pace, and I've just enjoyed it. And we had visitors in the hospital the second day she was born, but then we had a good 3 or 4 days, maybe a little bit longer than that, maybe it was 4 or 5 days, where it was just us four at home, getting to know each other, getting to know her, sorry. And oh my gosh, another scrunch. Oh, you're treating us with all these newborn scrunches. Had time at home, just us four, getting to know little CeCe. I wanted Rudy to be settled and for him to get used to it, so that was a really nice time, just us four. But yeah, I think she's starting to wake up and I know she's going to want to feed, so I think I'm gonna end this vlog here. But I really hope this video has shown you that a C-section can be really magical and an empowering experience. And you know, if you've got an elective C-section coming up, I'm so jealous. I want to do it all over again. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed this vlog, and I will see you in my next one.